Frederick and Hattie have known their share of highs and lows.
He was a very different person, and he seemed really great compared to the way he had been when I'd met him many years earlier.
My mother and Frederick had a tumultuous relationship, but it was because it was a passionate one.
Their road to hell is paved with good intentions.
I believe that Jeffrey wanted to do good.
And bad choices.
It wasn't simply a sex slave, but become his slave, to actually do his bidding.
They want a juicy story about murder for hire, Black Widow type thing, you know? It's provocative.
The most sickly sweet smell you'll ever encounter is the smell of a burning body.
Love may be blind and marriage bliss, but divorce is murder. Chime Street, Baton Rouge, Louisiana. An area that was known for its low rent, crack houses, and late night vibe.
Chime Street used to be a little more daring than it is now. At that point in the early 2000s, in the late 90s, that was a very rundown area in general.
After a few years in Memphis, single mom Hattie Reynolds returns here to her hometown.
The last year that I was in Memphis, I had a lot of trouble, and the drugs became a problem. I had attempted suicide after having relapsed. And it seemed like the solution for me to start over away from my problem.
Hattie hopes for a fresh start with her daughter, Virginia. And for her sake, she's determined to stay clean. She joins Narcotics Anonymous and is surprised to see a familiar face. An old acquaintance named Frederick Smith.
Hello, everyone. My name is Fred, and I'm a recovering drug addict.
I met Frederick in 1982. He was working for my father, doing some telephone sales, and back at the time, he was like a neighborhood person. He was in his addiction at the time. He was a comical character.
But I wasn't going to stick any needles in my arm, that's for sure.
Frederick's a recovering cocaine addict, but these days, he's totally committed to his sobriety. Even the bumper sticker on his car is a testament to that.
It was keep it simple, and Narcotics Anonymous devotees will get and put on their vehicle as a telltale sign that they are recovering drug addicts.
Fred. Hi, I don't know if you remember me. Hattie? It's been a long time.
Hattie! Oh my God, yes, I remember you. How are you?
Good, good.
Oh, you look amazing.
Thank you, thank you.
When I first ran into Frederick, he was a very different person than he had been back those years back. He'd really done well to turn his life around to that degree, and he seemed really great compared to the way he had been when I'd met him many years earlier.
I do. You know what I remember best?
What's that?
When we used to go for po' boys, and used to pay for those with pennies.
Well, that was all I had. That's all I had was pennies.
And we got to talking, and we really had a fun conversation and remembered a couple of things about the old neighborhood and stuff like that. There's a lot of camaraderie and joking and happiness and fun, and that's how it started, and that was what was good about it.
Hey, do you think we can go for a coffee after the meeting?
Sure.
Soon, friends turn to lovers, and Frederick asks Hattie and her daughter Virginia to move in with him.
They were a lot of fun together. Like, I really liked them. Frederick was like a big kid, and in a lot of ways, my mom found that refreshing and great, you know.
And I'm like, and your mother's laughing like a nut. And I'm like,
I had never met like a grown-up that was so much fun and had such like a childlike spirit. Most adults don't want to mess with playing games and stuff like that, but he was always, he was always up for a laugh.
We're gonna try it.
It's a whirlwind romance. And then, on her 30th birthday, Hattie learns she's pregnant.
I had mixed feelings about it, and I said, well, we'll just get married, and it'll be all right. We'll make it work, because my mom made it work with my dad. I can do it.
Their son is born in April of 1997, and they marry 1 month later. Psychotherapist Stacy Kaiser and forensic psychologist Brian Russell see a pair of newlyweds trying hard to raise their family in difficult circumstances.
The fact that Frederick and Hattie are both recovering addicts puts an extra stressor on their relationship because both of them are needing to work day by day to manage their own sobriety. I do think there's a plus to the fact that they're both in recovery because they both understand each other.
Marriage and family are good stabilizers for people. But if Frederick wanted to have marriage and family, I would have encouraged him to pick somebody as his partner who did not also put him in a step-parenting situation, because that is a very difficult role for anyone to play, even if there are no other risk factors.
It is challenging to get into a step-family situation, but he gets along really well with Hattie's daughter. And so I don't see that as a negative in this situation. I see it as a positive that their relationship is solid and it's gonna help support his marriage.
That usually lasts about 5 minutes.
The most important thing to me was to win my family's respect once more.
Hattie and Frederick embrace their new, sober, more conventional life. 2 kids, a marriage, and a future together. But their lives will get messy when Frederick meets another recovering drug user at a Narcotics Anonymous meeting, Jeff Maggio.
Give it a shot.
Really?
Sure.
He had dark hair and a gentle smile and gentle eyes and kind of boyish looking and very handsome.
I'm a drug addict. I like using drugs.
Jeff's personality, he was an awesome, awesome guy. He was a real violent kind of looking character, you know? I mean, when you first met him, you'd be like, oh, whoa, you know, this guy's gonna kill me. But once you got to know him, I mean, he was like a teddy bear, you know? He was nice, cordial, basically give you the shirt off his back.
He would do anything to help anybody. And that's probably what attracted me to him.
Good job up there.
Thanks.
You're pretty brave.
Thank you. What's your name?
I'm Hattie.
Jeff, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
I'd seen him at meetings and so forth, and he was on his medicine and stuff, and he just seemed kind of funny and cute, and I flirted with him, just friendly.
Hey.
Jeff, right?
Fred,
that's
How
right.
are you?
All right, so how'd you like the meeting?
Inspired by the couple's sobriety, Jeff asks Frederick to be his sponsor at Narcotics Anonymous.
Sponsor is someone who will go the extra mile for you. So once you choose someone you're comfortable with, you'll be on your way.
He probably respected Frederick and wanted to be in his life because he was sober and clean, and I believe that Jeffrey wanted to do good.
Hattie, Frederick, and Jeff all want to stay on the straight and narrow. But Jeff has another kind of addiction that will lead the couple down a much darker path.
He was a sex addict, you know, and something about Hattie, he was really infatuated with this woman.
Newlyweds Frederick Smith and Hattie Reynolds are devoted to their sobriety and family life. But less than a year into the marriage, Hattie's attracting the attention of Jeff Maggio, who they meet at Narcotics Anonymous. And then she does something that for Frederick is unforgivable. She falls off the wagon.
I made a lot of mistakes, and I did a lot of things during the marriage that I'm ashamed of. I was definitely not little Susie homemaker.
Frederick, desperate for he and Hattie to stay clean and sober together, reacts badly.
What the hell's this? What is this? You starting that again?
There was a good deal of violence. He tackled me a couple times, put me through a window one time, put me through a wall one time. But, you know, he didn't think about what he was doing.
Let go of me!
You know, he was so sorry immediately afterwards.
Get the out of here now! Knock you in your head.
My mother and Frederick had a tumultuous relationship, but it was because it was a passionate one. They loved one another very, very deeply, and that comes out in different ways, especially with people who have, mental disorders or drug addictions that they're dealing with.
My drug problem was pretty severe at this point. I would binge, and then I would have consequences, and then I'd try to get it together and so forth.
Whether it's the drugs or the fear that Hattie is seeing other men, Frederick refuses to leave her alone.
He was very obsessive. He got several jobs, and he kept leaving the jobs because he would leave in the middle of the day to come see me.
You should be earning some money first. Get the hell out of here!
If I thought that he was acting like he was about to try and bully me or be violent with me or something like that, I would just get in his face. I became verbally violent with him.
I'm not that surprised by the incidents of physical abuse that we're hearing about at this point, because we knew that both of these spouses had impulsivity in their histories, and you could see it in the fact that they've got the substance abuse histories. Both of them do.
I'm particularly concerned about the fact that Hattie is using drugs and on a regular basis. Frederick's sponsor in Narcotics Anonymous, it's got to be challenging to have him facing this with his own wife.
Frederick and Hattie have a lot of stressors on their hands. They have substance abuse history, they have financial pressures. It seems like the children that they already have are more than they can handle. So all of these things converge upon a lot of concern for Frederick and Hattie at this point.
Just as quickly as it began, the marriage starts to fall apart.
There were probably 4 severe violent incidents between us when it was absolutely obvious that I needed to go. And nobody could believe that we stayed together as long as we did.
2 years after the wedding, Hattie takes the kids, moves out, and files for divorce. But Frederick refuses to accept that the marriage is over.
At times it got so bad, and he would come and knock on the door all night long. He would call constantly, all the time.
Fred, get the hell out, get a life, leave us alone!
Frederick's so persistent that Hattie obtains a restraining order against him.
It was very bad environment for a child to be around, to hear that kind of thing. You know, us screaming at each other all the time.
Amidst the chaos, daughter Virginia goes to live with her biological father, and Hattie gets a new apartment on Highland Road.
It was a really run-down apartment complex, and it was populated by people that just didn't really do much of anything productive.
That neighborhood was fun. You could go into one of the back buildings that had been abandoned and watch a punk rock show. Just anything you could imagine was there, and we had fun. Yeah, probably too much fun, you know.
But Hattie's absence is not fun for Frederick. He's so depressed that he returns to a habit he hasn't touched in 11 years.
He went downhill a lot. He started using during his time. I mean, I feel a lot of responsibility for him losing the sobriety he had, because I didn't have very much sobriety at any point at that time. You know, 4 or 5 months at a time is what I'd have. But he had 11 years.
All right, I'm gonna need $40, he's coming.
When Frederick falls off the wagon, he falls hard. And he takes Jeff Maggio with him, the man he sponsored in Narcotics Anonymous.
Give it up.
For lack of a better term, they were drug buddies.
Their history basically was, okay, you got some money? Yeah. You want to go get some drugs? Okay.
The two men hang out by the abandoned pier at the Mississippi River levee.
You know, teenage kids go out there to do stuff they're not supposed to, and then people living out there, you know, because they had no other place to go.
Oh, geez, a levee? It could be a place of inspiration or it could be a place of debauchery. If you're in Frederick's shoes, you know, you got like nowhere to really go.
For a time, Hattie allows Frederick to see their son, despite his addiction, until crack cocaine obliterates his judgment entirely when he decides to take their infant son on a camping trip.
My mom says, okay, you know, we gave him permission and everything. And then she gets a call from the cops. He had been homeless at the time, apparently, and sleeping in a tent out like on the levee, and brought my little baby brother there.
I'm not doing anything wrong.
Someone called the cops because like there's a baby here that could freeze to death, and it's as if those kind of thoughts never crossed his mind, you know.
His judgment was poor. Let's just say that for the most part.
But Hattie doesn't want to cut off Frederick's access to their son completely. And so when he moves into the same building on a different floor, Hattie doesn't fight it.
He went through a dozen residences. He got evicted from every one of them. The last place he rented was in the building with me.
Hey.
You again.
God. This place is almost as bad as mine.
She thought that it would be better for her son's father to be around, you know, like, so pretty much at any given time she could have had him arrested, and she didn't.
He was not supposed to be anywhere around, and but he really didn't know how to take no for an answer, mainly because I kept sending mixed signals.
Well, I guess there'll be some benefits to having you here.
From time to time, I was still going off and meeting him.
Lead the way.
They love each other one minute, they hate each other the next minute, and it's part of the ingredient that made for their attraction to each other initially. It made for the storminess of their relationship while it was going on.
We've all been there where Hattie is, where you hate someone, you don't want them around, and yet you still love them. And so it's this push me, pull you of, I don't want to be near you, but okay, I'm going to be nice to you. I'm getting concerned about Frederick. He's beginning to behave differently than he did before. He's seeming more impulsive, less caring. This kind of behavior is very damaging for the kids.
Even with Frederick so close, Hattie welcomes another man into her apartment. The building's maintenance man, Lanny Ross, known as Chief, moves in with her.
Chief was the guy that he knew everything that was going on in that complex.
Hattie and Chief go way back.
It's so nice to have you back in the neighborhood.
Thank you.
When I moved to Memphis, I worked at a coffee shop in Memphis, and Chief was one of the regulars. We became friends, and he wound up rescuing me or the kid and became closer. Chief and I were never romantically involved.
I can't figure out why Chief is moved in with Hattie. It may be that he's attracted to her. It may be that he sees himself as a bit of a father figure and she's this needy woman and he can help her.
Looks to me like she's looking for a sugar daddy.
Whatever the reason Chief is there, his presence aggravates Frederick. And to make matters worse, Hattie appears to have yet another suitor, Jeff Maggio. And soon, drug buddies will turn to mortal enemies.
What's going on?
They're best of friends when the dope is flowing, but when the dope dries up, they are not friends at all.
Frederick Smith and Hattie Reynolds are separated and living in separate units of the same Baton Rouge apartment complex. She has a new man in her life, while he is spending a lot of time with the man he used to sponsor in Narcotics Anonymous, Jeff Maggio.
Come on, man. Come on. Come on.
Their friendship has its highs, but it also has its lows.
Good. What do we got?
I didn't get it.
What do you mean you
We
didn't
don't
get
have
it?
enough money.
They're best of friends when the dope is flowing, but when the dope dries up, they are not friends at all.
Jeff would go get him drugs, and because Jeff didn't like him and didn't want him around, he would purposely rip him off, you know, and be like, yeah, what are you gonna do about it? You know, swing your fist, go ahead, I don't care.
Hey, Jeff.
How you doing, girl?
How you doing? What you doing all alone at the bar?
Then Jeff does something that Frederick cannot forgive. He has sex with Frederick's ex-wife, Hattie.
Jeff and I had one encounter, which I had flirted with him and kind of half promised him for years that we would get together one day. We got together one day, very briefly.
I gotta show you something. Check it out.
Immediately afterwards, he started talking to me about these other women that he was sexually involved with.
I want to see this. Oh my God, please, please take it away. Please put that away.
It just was really crazy talk. His stripper girlfriend wrapping him in thorns and another girl beating on him or something, and he wanted to show me the pictures, and I was like, no, that's okay. And
You know what? I gotta go.
You gotta go?
Yeah, I've got things I gotta do.
which I had no idea before that day that he was really that crazy.
For Hattie, it's a one-time thing, but Jeff would like it to happen again.
He was a sex addict, and something about Hattie, he was really infatuated with this woman, and who knows what went on behind closed doors, that could have made him just gaga over her.
But Hattie doesn't realize the extent of Jeff's interest, or either man's jealousy.
He saw me still fooling with Frederick. I was still, time to time, having little trysts with him and so forth. And Jeff saw that, apparently, and bothered him.
Frederick is still gaga for Hattie as well. And that fall, he files for custody of their son as a ploy to get her back.
You can't be serious.
He had the idea that if he could fight me for custody, then I would have to come live with him if I wanted to see my child. He just kept grasping at straws, at anything that might make me come back.
You're obsessed, you know that? You're sick in the head. I want you out of my life.
The custody battle gets physical.
Where am I gonna go? And you? What are you doing? No. Oh, Hattie!
Frederick claims Hattie repeatedly punched him and threw his clothes off a balcony.
Jeez! Are you crazy?
While Hattie says Frederick physically assaulted her.
Neither one of them had the resources to hire any attorneys of any merit. They weren't going to have any kind of show trial in family court. It was just tit for tat. He's bad, she's bad.
It's not clear whose version is true. His, hers, or both.
It happens all too often that the husband or the wife will use a child as a pawn and will use that child to get what they want, to manipulate the other party. Who do you believe?
In this case, the judge believes Hattie. Frederick's convicted of assault and thrown in jail for not paying a fine for that conviction.
Frederick's become desperate He's obsessed with having Hattie back, and she keeps rejecting him over and over again. She isn't interested. And this is making him more and more angry, so he's doing everything he can think of to try and get her back, including trying to take custody of their son. Part of what's really concerning to me is one thing that Frederick used to care about was his children. And what's happening now is he's putting their emotional feelings aside and trying to use them as pawns to get what he wants.
Sometimes in custody battles, even parents with good intentions get their motivations mixed up.
I've been viewing all along that this couple was a ticking time bomb.
1 month later, Frederick is out of jail, and his and Hattie's divorce is finalized. But the fight for their son is still in full swing, and Hattie scores a new ally. Jeff Maggio.
What's that? What the?
When Jeff visits another friend who lives in the same building, he overhears Hattie and Frederick fighting.
Is this what you hear every day?
He was telling Hattie and Frederick to stop it before he called the cops. He actually stood on his bed and banged something on the top of the ceiling.
What is she doing, man?
When we were young and growing up, my father beat my mom. So I know that Frederick abused Hattie in the same manner. So I think maybe there may have been a little connection there too.
You think I'm crazy? You think I'm crazy? This guy's nuts, man. This guy's... He's a creep.
Jeff tells anyone who will listen what he thinks of Frederick.
I was told that Frederick was a creep and a stalker.
Fred, he's killing me.
He'd tell me things that he would do to Hattie, stuff like that, and I'd just be like, yeah, what a piece of crap.
Frederick fights dirty in other ways too, according to Hattie. He invites her over to do cocaine, and she accepts the invitation. Frederick then files an emergency order for custody, claiming Hattie's drug use makes her an unfit parent.
He tried to give me drugs so that I would fail.
But the court doesn't just order drug tests for Hattie. Frederick has to take one too.
And he failed his own drug test. Okay. I laughed my butt up, and he laughed at himself too.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
They both risk losing custody of their son, but there won't be time for repercussions, because this will be the last happy moment they ever share.
He's like, you better get up. You gotta take me to the bus station, because I've done killed somebody.
The most sickly sweet smell you'll ever encounter is the smell of a burning body.
Frederick Smith and Hattie Reynolds are fighting for custody of their son, but they've reached a stalemate, having both failed drug tests. Jeff Maggio sided with Hattie, even though she rejects him after a one-night stand. She'll soon wish that night had never happened. It turns out Jeff has a schizoaffective disorder. He suffers from hallucinations, mania, and depression.
Best of luck.
He had been on a lot of medications through the years. I don't know that they ever stabilized that. He would be okay, and then he wouldn't be okay. So from one extreme to the other.
He would just say things that were just, you knew they weren't true, you know, or if I've seen UFOs, all this stuff, he would say stuff like that, and you're like, whatever.
You could tell you had mental problems just like everybody else, but I mean, like I said, everybody in the area had mental problems.
Guys, and I got in a fight. I got kicked out.
He had a good heart, but a rotten brain. Someone asked me, you know he was locked up in an institution before? I said, no. And they were like, yeah, ask him what for. You gonna really bug out on the answer. So I asked him, and he said, got kicked out of a bar for being too drunk, and he blacked out. And when he came to, he was carrying a dead body in his arms, and he didn't know what to do with it, and he threw it into a dumpster.
He had told me that he had killed someone. I just figured it was talk to scare me. He said many times that he felt like there was some evil inside him.
In March 2001, Jeff gets a brand new tattoo, his most audacious yet.
That's what it is. What do you think, huh?
That's disgusting.
Jeffrey showed up with his whole head tattooed in a spider web. Like, and we were all, wow, that's pretty, I thought it looked cool.
What do you think? Huh? Come on.
I believe that during the time he got the tattoo on his head, he was letting the negative thoughts rule his life.
Jeff is so troubled by his own thoughts and actions that he tries to get help.
I don't think he was feeling right.
When he emerges weeks later, he seems resolved to be a better man. He calls Frederick and suggests they work on their friendship.
Frederick and my brother stopped by. Something was wrong with the vehicle.
That's all you got?
Yeah.
Michelle doesn't have the tools to fix the car.
So I gave him a very old steak knife. And they looked under the hood for a little while, and then they left.
Good.
With Frederick's car in working order, they head off to the Mississippi River levee.
I kind of had a bad feeling.
Later that day, police are called to the building where Hattie, Chief, and Frederick all live.
What precipitated the whole case was the burning car, or now by that time a smoking hulk of a car. And what had happened, of course, is that someone had seen this vehicle on fire and had called 911.
The spectacle draws a crowd and the media.
It was an older sedan, and it was out, maybe smoldering by the time I got there.
Police find no sign of the driver, but there's something gruesome inside in the back seat. A smoldering human corpse.
The body was burned so badly, it was beyond recognition of either a man or a woman.
The most sickly sweet smell you'll ever encounter is the smell of a burning body, of a corpse. It took a while for them to get the vehicle, temperature-wise, down enough to where they could even remove the body. It's basically a big oven that's continuing to char this poor devil.
The fire was contained to the interior of the car. There was really no exterior damage to the vehicle, so it had obviously been set inside the car. At that point, we began treating it as a homicide.
Before long, Hattie joins the throngs of onlookers.
And the woman said that that's my ex-husband's car. She didn't know what was going on. She didn't know if that was her ex-husband, but she was worried.
I just kept trying to comprehend what was happening because I told myself, oh, it was in the back seat. Maybe they were buying drugs.
This is Fred's car.
Somebody got shot and Frederick had to run. And maybe they're out there hiding, trying to come up with something that it could be besides that.
Jeff's sister is watching events unfold on the local news and immediately recognizes the car. She calls the police and tells them that her brother was with the owner of that vehicle a few hours earlier.
They were in this light blue Plymouth Grand Fury that later turned out to be the vehicle the body was found in.
The charred and blackened body is finally identified as Frederick's.
We were just in shock. There had always been kind of an expectation that one day we were going to hear some outrageous story about how Frederick was dead. He had very poor judgment and took a lot of risks that he shouldn't have taken.
Frederick Smith is dead at age 52. But where is his drug buddy, Jeffrey Maggio?
Jeff is the prime suspect, and just because somebody is released from mental health treatment doesn't mean they're mentally healthy. It's very hard legally to keep somebody locked in a mental health facility if they don't want to be there. They've got to be in imminent danger to themselves or others.
He may not be taking his medication. He has talked about having hallucinations and delusions about killing people. I think it's highly plausible that Jeff participated in whatever it is that caused Frederick to die.
It's not long before the police identify their primary suspect, Jeffrey Maggio.
The police had sent out a request, what we call in BOLO, be on the lookout.
I was asleep. I get a knock on my window. I was just like, Jeffrey, go away, just go away. And he's like, you better get up. You gotta take me to the bus station, because I've done killed somebody.
Could you please drive me to the bus station, please?
And just remember him telling me what he had done, and I was just, at that point, I believed him.
The following night, police receive a call from a bus station attendant in New Orleans saying they served a man who meets Jeff Maggio's description.
He had the huge spider web on his head. It was pretty obvious, easy way to find him.
And it was later that same day that he was actually picked up by the United States Marshal Service in New Orleans, and then the next morning, I think, returned to Baton Rouge for questioning.
Police are confident they've located the killer, but nothing will prepare them for what Jeffrey Maggio has to say.
Hattie had promised him sex for life.
Hattie Reynolds' ex-husband Frederick is found dead in a burning car, and Frederick's friend Jeff Maggio is in custody.
They read him his rights, and they say, do you want to talk about it? He says, well, sure, I'll talk about it. I'll tell you I killed him.
Jeff Maggio admits to the murder, but claims it was not his idea.
Jeffrey's story to the detectives was that Hattie had apparently put the word out to several people within her circle that she wanted Frederick killed, that she and Frederick were involved in a custody battle over their son, and that she wanted someone to kill Frederick.
Jeff claims Hattie was too broke to pay for the hit, so she offers Jeff the only thing she has.
You know, you can have this anytime you want.
Really?
In exchange for the hit, she would become their sex slave or offer them free sexual services for life.
24/7.
Jeff stated on multiple occasions that he believed Hattie had promised him sex for life. And then he was gonna have a sex slave, or he was gonna have his own gimp.
One of the most bizarre motives I've heard. I've heard a lot of things, but that pretty much stands out as the most bizarre.
I wasn't surprised. He was a sex addict. I guess for her to say that she was willing to be his sex slave forever, that was just like candy to a child.
Jeff tells the cops how he carried out the hit in order to win his reward from Hattie.
We think there were actually several attempts made on Frederick that day.
Put that away. I got my
This is
kid.
the best. You want to try this, man. Trust me.
No, I don't want to try this. I don't want that. Get it away.
He thought about first loading a syringe with some type of drain cleaner or some type of chemical and trying to poison him.
Well, that particular attempt was foiled because Frederick apparently was going to see his young son later in the day, and he told Jeffrey that he didn't want to be high during that meeting, so he declined.
Jeff pulls out Plan B, his sister's knife.
Take it!
But we believe he actually missed Frederick and instead stabbed the car seat and literally broke the knife.
Jeff, during the struggle, grabbed a speaker wire, wrapped it around Frederick's neck, and used it as a garrote and strangled him.
That's it.
Then we believe Jeffrey began driving back toward the apartment complex.
He's smoking a cigarette and throws it in the back seat, catching the back seat on fire with the victim in it, who he'd covered up with a blanket.
This fire began growing in size as Jeffrey continued to drive back toward the complex, and we believe it put out so much smoke on the interior of the car that by the time he got back to the apartment complex, he really couldn't see anymore.
Like a cat bringing home its kill, Jeff brings the body back to show it to Hattie.
I gotta show you something.
What?
I gotta show you something. Come.
What are you doing?
Just come with me. Come, let me show you. Look.
It was our contention that he parked that vehicle exactly in the exact spot where Hattie could look out a window or open the door and see that he had done what he said he was gonna do. And that was dispatch her ex-husband, and that was the end of the story.
Hattie denies any involvement in the murder.
I absolutely didn't want anything bad to happen to Frederick, and he did not deserve to die in that way.
It was the most ridiculous thing I had ever heard. They want a juicy story about an evil, slut, murder for hire, Black Widow type thing, it's provocative, but it's not true.
Oh, he's just driving me crazy.
Prosecutors say Jeff was not the only person Hattie approached.
It was clear from testimony of the maintenance men that she had made the same proposition to them.
Sex for life. To anyone who can get rid of him. Permanently.
I made an off-the-cuff remark about Frederick, and there were neighbors there.
You better watch what you say.
Mr. Maggio apparently heard about this comment the joke I had made. He took it seriously, apparently.
Well, of course she would claim that because by that time she was a suspect in the murder, and the noose was going to tighten around her.
Police charge Jeff with second-degree murder, and they charge Hattie with conspiracy.
I was scared, but at the same time, I didn't think that there was anything to worry about because that's all they have is the word of a schizophrenic man.
Jeffrey Maggio is tried first.
The only defense that they had, and his attorney properly raised it, and he had a good attorney, was a defense of insanity. And what that means is, hey, I did it, but I didn't know what I was doing. They made a conscious decision that he would take the stand and he would try to convince a jury that he didn't know right from wrong at the time he was committing this offense.
But the Louisiana jury doesn't buy it.
Jeff knew throughout this what he was doing.
Jeff Maggio is convicted of second-degree murder and sentenced to life in the Louisiana State Penitentiary.
He took a life. I mean, nobody gets away with that. He's not proud of what has happened, and he is sorry about the murder.
I believe that Hattie knew that he had mental issues. I believe that she knew that she could manipulate him. She definitely used that to her advantage to get what she wanted. Let's set the dogs on Frederick in the form of Mr. Jeffrey Maggio.
We have one possibility, which is that Jeff killed Frederick completely on his own to impress Hattie. And we have another possibility, which is that Jeff killed Frederick at Hattie's behest, basically in order to get sex from Hattie for life afterwards.
There's no doubt in my mind that Hattie has a skill. She's great at getting men to want her and do what she wants. And she had Jeff obsessed with her. What is not being factored in here is a third possibility, which is we already know that Jeff has schizoaffective disorder and that he sometimes has delusions and hears voices that people are telling him to do things that aren't really happening. So it is possible that he imagined that Hattie told him to kill Frederick and it didn't really happen.
I didn't.
In Hattie's case, there's no concrete evidence of her participation. In 2003, she makes a deal and accepts the charge of accessory after the fact for allegedly helping Jeff get away.
When I saw they weren't going to give me a trial, I finally took a no contest plea because they told me they'd let me out then if I did it. I'd been 13 months without touching my child, and I just said I can't take it anymore.
Hattie serves a total of 2.5 years in jail.
I, of course, would have liked to have been able to convict her. Of course, hindsight's 20/20. Here we are 12 years later, and she's had no further criminal activity to my knowledge. In that regard, I guess it was a proper decision to make.
She gave up custody of her son and never regained it. Today, she lives with Chief and Virginia in Baton Rouge. Frederick is remembered as an imperfect man, but he is loved and missed.
Frederick did not deserve that. He didn't do it. Not at all.
I also loved Frederick very, very, very much. I know from the deepest depths of my heart that my mother had nothing to do with this.
I feel bad for the young boy that had to grow up without his father. That's sad. Didn't have to happen.